can start the live.
Oh yeah.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing this morning? How are we this morning? Good to have you here. It's been long since I showed up on the Thursday um, Prosperity for Your Soul. I gave an opportunity to several mentors who are my mentees. The whole point in giving other people an opportunity, that is the best way I do mentorship. Mentorship for me is not theory. Mentorship for me is action. So if you're listening to me and you're one of my mentees, I want you to know your growth is not in calling me a mentor or clapping for me. Your growth is in you volunteering to do certain things that we are doing. For example, we are running several programs. We have Evolve Discovery Program, which is like the start of our programs. If you want to grow in mentorship, it is for you to volunteer to pick one or two members of the new cohort and volunteer to be their mentor because you have gone through mentorship with me. So you can be in my team and you can remain the same, like no growth, because you are simply watching me do things, you are clapping for me, you are encouraged. Like others would say, I'm so inspired. Your posts inspire me. Growth in mentorship is not about you clapping for the mentor. As much as you need to show up on my posts and read and learn, it is important for you to duplicate the same in your niche. Okay, so if you see that I do post consistently and I'm educating a certain group of people, what is it that is in your brand? Who are you? What have we made you to be, or what have we helped you to become in our team? So Project Life Design is here to upgrade you. Project Life Design is for you to volunteer whenever there's an opportunity for you to actually be found to be doing something. So the example that I gave, we have Evolve Discovery. I think it will be starting next week. Yours as as a mentee in my life, if you want to grow, you've got to volunteer to be one of the mentors. Okay, one of the mentors to the new cohort. Now, this is by choice. Okay, this is by choice. You've got to volunteer. It is up to you because you aren't doing me a favor. You're doing yourself a favor to grow in your mentorship, to grow in, and then also, apart from growth in your mentorship, you're also growing your network. Some of you do not have a big network, and therefore being part of Project Life Design will give you an opportunity without due diligence to get to know other people that are in my team. And the only way they will also come onto your page or accept your mentorship is when you volunteer to be part of the mentorship programs. So I'm inviting you because I think some of us do not understand the power of partnerships, the power of networking. You have to be intentional. And the issue of intentionality with regards to building your brand is something that you have to cultivate yourself. You need to ensure that you are in the face of your mentor so that you can be given opportunities to do certain things. Mentorship at a distance does not build a lifestyle. Mentorship of once in a year when you're having a conversation with your mentor, your mentor doesn't know what is going on. They don't understand what is happening in your career. You find that mentors like myself, who is hands on, I become lost with where you are. So I would like to encourage you, for those who have other mentors, and if you want to really tighten that relationship, you have to have planned conversations. You've got to find yourselves in their DM, in their inboxes. You need to communicate. You need to inform. Okay. So because of the type of mentor that I am, I also, because I'm holistic in approach, I take seriously when I'm mentoring somebody, I put that mentee also in prayer. So if I don't know what is happening in your life, you are not participating with whatever is going on as we are moving. Like I was talking to somebody this morning, they found certain things, at home, which, is suspected witchcraft, so many things. And I was asking this person, have you been part of the teachings that I have been carrying for the past, I think about past 2 months? I've been teaching on such issues in the Liberty Bootcamp, the online Liberty Bootcamp, because I'm a holistic mentor. So I expect you to also connect to that spiritual part of my life, because I believe mentorship of takeaway does not work. It is not actually sustainable. By takeaway, what I mean is you simply want to see the finished product of my life. I want to give you a cupcake, okay? The mentees that I really concentrate on and really pay attention to are those that want to learn how to bake scones. So you coming into my life and you just want to come and eat the cupcakes, it's not sustainable. And yes, there are people like that in my team. And all I'm saying today is, if you want the best of a mentor, it is not about you having cupcakes. You need to get into the kitchen part of your mentor to learn how to mix the sugar, butter, baking powder, flour, that mixing aspect before the end results. So how? So you talking to me like I was telling this person early in the morning, they woke up very scared and they wanted to see me at 5. They wanted to see me that time. I'm like, okay, what does seeing me? What will it change? Okay. What will it change that you want to see me at 5 a.m.? It won't change anything. When I have been teaching for almost 3 months about such things and how the enemy can have legal right to contend with your life. How has the enemy found himself, herself in your house, in your bedroom, to put all those things that are now scaring you? It is because they are open gates. But because people love takeaway mentorship, they love take away fire anointing. Like people are used to pastor fire brigade just to show up. Someone is about to get married. They are waiting for that. Is it a week before marriage or a month before marriage to tell them one, two, three, four things? This is how it should be. It is not sustainable. Okay. Mentorship is a lifestyle. Mentorship is always being part of what your mentor is doing, especially if it has to build your brand. You observe what your mentor is doing. You observe, like in my case, when you look at my brand, I always align to that which I know best, that which I was designed to do. The week won't end and you haven't heard me talk about leadership. The week won't end and you haven't heard me talk about marriage. The week won't end and you haven't heard me talk about your spiritual aspect. So, that level of consistency, when I am your mentor, I'm expecting you to also be consistent in your brand, in your niche. That is my point today. So, people wonder, well, how do you manage? How do you manage to do this? How do you manage to do the other? It is because I've built systems. I have built systems in my life because, like I usually tell people, I want to be alive beyond my tombstone. I want to live beyond my tombstone. And how I will live beyond my tombstone is when I am active building systems that will be sustainable in my absence. So if you see me as your mentor doing that, how will you, for example, your child behave in your absence? If you died today, you've got a daughter, you've got a son, how would the behavior when you are now an ancestor? Your daughter has gotten married. How will your daughter behave in that marriage? What systems have you built around that it does not require you to always be there for someone to behave a certain way? That is my point. How will people still read about you? How will people still learn from you when you are not there to open your mouth? Being a mentee is about you developing to become a mentor yourself. Growth is about you exercising. If you're a young woman, for example, who's about to get married, being a mentee in my life is when I see young people you are mentoring. I've got to see your life because if, for example, you are walking up into marriage and your life is just surrounding you, just you alone, before you say I do. It'll be so difficult when you now have entered marriage to begin running around to find people that you can pour into. You know what has made me to be a better wife? It is not because I just got in marriage and I'm a better wife. No, it has been people who walked up into my mentorship, space with my husband, and then I hear the husband complaining about the wife, the same things that I'm doing. Now, because I'm a mentor, I've got to still give them suggestions, advice of what they need to do. When those people have gone, listen to me, my husband doesn't need to repeat himself because I have now heard the same complaint from the other man. That is how I became better because I then realized these things men do not like because I heard in my mentorship programs, you don't just show up and you are a good person. You don't just show up and you are this great person. It is consistency, it is practicing, it is helping others. The more you pour into others, the more you are poured into. So, most of you who are listening to me right now, the reason why there is no growth in your life or influence, you are not influencing people, is because you are not intentional. You are not intentional about your life, about your brand, to know that your life is not about you. Life is about other people. Some of you need to show up and say, I want to also give a talk. I have a lot of platforms for you to improve your public speaking, for you to be judged on your public speaking. That is mentorship. Mentorship is not like, oh, um, Dr. Nellie, is such a good speaker. I would love to learn from you. How will you learn from me? You will learn from me when you are practicing as a speaker. Like now, I don't have anything written. How do I then bring about these points that later on are being captured to be books? It's this same information. Because as I'm seated here, there is a portal of information that is being downloaded to me to speak to the listeners. How do you get to that level where you haven't written your notes and you can still speak to an audience and your points are well aligned? It is with practice. It goes with practice. Who are you mentoring? Who are you pouring into? That is how you become a better person. It is those people that are looking up to you. At least in my years of mentorship, that is how I have grown as a mentor. It is when I see struggles in my mentees, and those are my same struggles. So I've got to upgrade. I have to always upgrade because I can't be the same level with people who are looking up to me. Temptations come to do certain weird things because I'm just human. But because I'm a leader and there are people who look up to me as a leader, there are things I will say no to. Not necessarily because I can't do those things, but because I think of the people that I am a standard in their lives. Apart from Jesus, I'm the next person in the physical form they look up to. And that has helped me to remain a leader of integrity. Being a leader of integrity is not just you wake up one day and you're a leader of integrity. It is when you've been squeezed, you've been placed in certain things that are really tempting. How you will arise from those things, that is what will make us say you are a leader of integrity. So, what is it that you are doing that can help us to really look up to you? You cannot be in my life for a year and you do not have people to mentor. You cannot say, I'm your mentor, and we've never spoken. And I don't know what is happening in your life. I'm not a fire brigade type of mentor. That mentorship for me doesn't work. Okay. That mentorship for me doesn't work. So it seemed like I was insensitive to this particular individual who was calling me at 5, wanting for me to rescue some things. I just quickly asked, I said, did you attend our 30 days prayers where I was teaching? No. Are you in that group? Yes. But have you been attending to when I was teaching this particular topic? No. Did you know about the boot camp that we had just last week? No. Have you attended any of my book? No. Have you read Transition to the Courts of Heaven? No. So what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Okay. So really my point, the point I'm trying to drive at is this. The mentorship that we are used to is where we are watching a mentor running the race and we are counting the steps. If the mentor is running 100 meters and we are excited with the speed of the mentor, but then we are not going into the pitch ourselves to run that particular race in order for our steps to also be measured, but also for us to improve and really be tested as we're running. I need you to be intentional. As you're listening to me right now, I want you to be intentional as a mentor. I want you to arise and begin to pick up responsibilities. I need you to arise and begin they're being poured into. I really I don't know how I can put it, but they're being poured into for me, how I improved my cooking, how I improved the care for my home, how I improved my CV. The other day, one of my mentors, Dr. Akan, when it comes to my career progression, sent me his CV. Jesus, my Lord. I was almost fainting because the last time I had his CV, and then when he sent to me last week, how he has improved it, what the details that are in there, because I'm making an application for something, on a scholarship and so on and so forth. Now, there are certain things that they were looking for. My CV cannot meet up with some of the questions because I was not working on it. But because of proximity to my mentor, there is a way in which I have learned. He now taught me some of the things that I was not doing because I'm an entrepreneur and the scholarship is more academically aligned. I never understood a number of publications that I should have been, um, intentionally doing in order for me to qualify for certain things, which I had to do. So that is mentorship is action. Mentorship is to be in the face of your mentor, at least maybe even just once in a month. What are you reporting on? What are you doing? What is the mentor supervising? What are they seeing? So that they can think about you for the next program that is taking place. Because if you are not present when something is going on, they won't remember. They won't remember. This, for me, I take it seriously. Ask any of my mentors, people that I look up to. They know what is going on because it's defined. This mentor is helping me in one, two, three, four things. It's well defined. So I do not disappear on the face of the earth and then show up when I need, for them just to endorse something. That is taking advantage of relationships. Relationships of mentor and mentee should not be a leeching type of relationship. Don't just leech. What are you contributing? What is it? Are you available? Are you there? Your growth, is it measurable? Since you met that mentor, what things have they contributed? And what you may not know is that if you have your mentor watching or seeing certain things, the things you are thinking you are making it. If a mentor was in your face, maybe double. I saw a lady who was, I think, my mentee years back. Yeah, she's not in my space. I looked at her makeup, the things that, okay, she's undergone through some stuff. And the divorce, I think, just, confused her and everything. And the advice I was giving did not seem like that's what she wanted. And that's how she cut off. You can see that the person is depressed. If you are in my space, I cannot let you get onto social media like that. I will tell you, delete that. Delete. That's a beauty of being the issue of getting a little micro managed is also important because they are able to see certain things and able to hear certain things that you may not see, you may not hear. And that is what I want to encourage you. Your non-growth and certain opportunities that are not coming forth in your life, it is because some of you, like now, let me address a few people that maybe you are in PLD. If you are in PLD, I can't see. I think my back end people aren't bringing names, so I can't see my audience right now. For example, if you are Project Life Design, you are in the network. Since when did you do anything Project Life Design? Since when did you find yourself in the team of what is happening in Project Life Design? Since when did you show up to give a hand in Project Life Design? That is what I'm talking about. Mentorship is about ensuring that where you've been assisted or where you've been helped, return back. Saying thank you is not paying a mentor. Saying thank you is your services, is your availability, where you can return. And is there something I can do? What is happening? You see what is going on. You find yourself, you are part of what is happening. You are keeping the team. And as you are growing in the team, you are part of the network. You are seeing what is happening. You are participating in some of those programs. That is where growth is. In conclusion, I want to give you an illustration, which I usually give. When the Bible says, it's in Matthew chapter number 16, I think verse 24, it says, is there any of you who wants to follow me? This is Jesus. It says, if you want to follow me, you've got number one, to deny yourself. So mentorship has got a journey of self-denial, because there are certain things that you may feel, this is how I must do this. But because you are being mentored, your mentor will tell you, I think this is wrong. So because it's not just about you wanting to do what you want to do, somebody is watching you, or you've got somebody you've got to still report to about that particular decision, because sometimes we can make wrong decisions. Okay. So first is self-denial. Then the Bible says, take up your cross. So in mentorship, okay, in mentorship, there is a taking up of a cross, and this cross is something you've got to live with every day of your life. Now, the cross has got three parts. Okay, the cross has got three parts. I'm saying this in my conclusion. The first part of the cross is the short part. Now, in your life, the short part represents mentors, people that you look up to. That is why it is short, because you shouldn't have a lot of people you are looking up to. You get confused. You need to be very selective and in alignment with your brand or your calling or what you want to achieve. Those are people that you should place there. And if you are on the cross, your head is what sits on that part. A mentor in your life is about helping you to grow in your thought process, maturity, and so on and so forth. Your mentor sees into the future. They are not ones to celebrate your now. They see your greatness. They can see what you're doing. Maybe you show up on social media. Maybe you give some talks. They can guide you to say, you know what, in the way you are showing up, what if you did this? What if you said this? Because they see into the future. Because remember, for you to say you are my mentor, meaning the person has walked the road. They may not be in the same profession, but there are certain principles that they don't have to be in the same profession that you are in. That is the short part. The middle, the other part is the width. You know, the cross has got this part that goes like this. In the width, these are inspirational relationship, competitive relationships. And when I say competitive, I'm not talking about those friends that are competing with you. But you need in your circle of growth people that can challenge your life. They are not your mentors, but they are, I would say, your peers. They are your peers, but they are making it. So that you don't say, no, doc, your profile is too much because I'm your mentor. So I can't reach that level. But the people that are in the width, who are your competitive relationships or inspirational relationships, these are your peers. These are people that are in your space that you are learning from. And if you see how they are doing it, you are getting challenged. If my friend, oh, we did this and this together, she is equally this. If she can do this, then I can do it. You need inspirational friends. Cut off from friends that are pulling you down, that are not challenging you. Because if they are not challenging you, to be difficult for you to grow because you think you are the one who's making it. The lower part and the final part is a longer piece of the cross. That is what has got people that are looking up to you. People that look up to you. These people that look up to you are the ones that challenge your life. And in this relationship, the standard you are supposed to set, you've got to keep on going up high and high, high and high in your life. Because this particular cross, your mentors, inspirational competitive relationships, and your mentees Carry your cross. If you want to grow in life, carry your cross. How often are you in the space of those types of people in your life? Each one of them has got their own role. Do not confuse the roles of people in your life. The people you have placed to look up to, you need to ensure that you can listen, position your heart to listen to what they've got to say. In this journey, the greatness over my life has been because of the principles I'm giving to you. So I pray that you're going to follow through. See you in greatness. See you at the top to level up. God bless you.